Peace family. Welcome to another topic of discussion. This is Pheromone coming to you today with another second topic of discussion. I wanted to speak about while I'm out and about in the elements. I want to speak about pheromonic harmonics. Pheromone harmonics. Okay, so if you haven't heard about that before, many of you who are acquainted with myself, you hear me speak about the pheromones of especially female pheromones and how important it is to really denote the chemistry and how we mate, our mating system. And many of the animals, obviously the insect kingdom, pheromones, it plays a very detailed part of how they engage and reproduce. And I don't know that we give as much credence as, the dark bow does utilize pheromonic harmonics very regularly without you knowing. Generally, they tend to put these different species of pheromones, particularly Insectilian and also Draconian pheromones, on other reptilian pheromones inside of perfumes that you readily purchase without you knowing. We are going to discuss this and how it affects you, what is necessary for my sea stars. This is really meant for my family, Pheromone's family. As we talk about this on the FB page, we talk about some of this very regularly, and for those who are not on my page, this is something I decided to gift you. And I actually made a YouTube video, but it was more so, I don't think many watched it if you weren't into like cleansing your yoni and what have you. But pheromone harmonics, what is it? Our pheromones is the chemical, it's a chemical release from our skins, from our endocrine system, that usually goes and we excrete it out of our skin, and it's usually on the surface of your skin. You have a lot of it on your hair, especially on your yoni space, underneath your underarms. Those hormones they're pheromones, but they're harmonic, meaning they have a particular chemical combination of different types of scents and smells and vibration and frequency that allows for others who are in the same frequency, generally in the same harmonics as yourself, to be attracted and allured, and it tends to allow for good, healthy mating. I always like to talk about mating, as it is mating season, and I'm quite accustomed and knowledgeable about hormones and pheromones. Now, just like the mother, the bees, I'll talk about insects that have queens. You must say to yourself, even in the animal kingdom and also in the insect kingdom, we'll talk about the insect kingdom, where you have queens who run huge, they run their hives and the ants have a whole kingdom of their own. They run that. They are ran by one queen. You ask, how is she able to do this? She is grafted, and particularly her biosphere and her biological chemical combination is that of a queen bee or a highly pheromonic entity. She is able to drive her hive or her kingdom to build and field her world around her wants and needs, to protect her and also to reproduce and create bigger, more efficient kingdoms or hives. The bee is known to be highly pheromonically heightened. Also the ant, the queen ant, is very harmonic, heightened in pheromones. So they're able to drive their community, their tribe, their hive, to perpetuate whatever necessity is needed to, maintain their home space and their offspring. So we don't think about how this may play into how animals and mammals and people relate to one another. Women, especially women in general are highly pheromonic. And our society is our society has actually made it so that we don't give as much credence to that, and actually we mask our sense and we perpetuate other species sense on ourselves, so that we mate with other species that we don't even know we're mating with, particularly the reptilian and some insectilian hybrids and other beings. But it is very important for us to realize what are pheromones and how they play into our mating regimen. With the perpetuation of masking our pheromones, as the Matrix has perpetually done in recent years, more so. In the 60s, if you notice, during the flower power age of love and heightened sexuality and engaging in a very free-spirited world, if you notice, the women left their hair very natural, especially women of color. Women of color left their froze, natural coil, curls, left their hair without anything on it, had hair underneath their underarms, and also their yoni space was nice and, you know, pheromonically appropriate for that time frame, meaning that they didn't shave or, you know, go commando, or a lot of you are getting Brazilians, and I too have, you know, undergone that as well. I'm listening to the deer. I'm outside. I like going outside and I watch the deer. They're walking. You can hear them because their footsteps are so much louder than the others. Anyway, I'm like in a tree house. Yeah, literally. My parents live in, like, you know, they were living in, you know, my father passed, but they were living in like what I consider to be like the tree house. That's why I have this fascination with tree houses. Anyway, so we are told nowadays to shave everything off, get rid of our underarm hair, our yoni space is totally cleared off and blinged out, which I particularly like. I think it's pretty, but it's unhealthy. And our hair is dyed, permed, weaved out. Everything is changed, and our hormones and our pheromones are actually masked or depleted to the point where it's not even effective to mating or attracting the appropriate mate. It is very important, family, for us at this particular time, especially my sea stars. I'm speaking to my sea stars because they are having issues with mating. And I know it has to do with them masking their pheromones without them knowing. Ladies, it is very important that you keep your pheromones active and very unneutralized, meaning that when we are in our natural state, our natural homeostasis, when we are living in our natural field, as we are, because we're born perfected, you would have hair on your special mating parts, and you would be able to hold your pheromones to be able to illuminate and to attract the other opposite sex. And yes, the opposite sex. Some people say, oh wow, ooh, that's so disgusting, those smells. And so no, that is actually a chemical composition of different types of hormones. That's what pheromones are, different types of hormones also, you know, because your endocrine system is also pumping out these different types of chemicals that come into this wonderful, you know, solidified combination on your surface of it, and it comes out in the pores in your skin, and especially when your hair, especially if you have coily hair. That's why women of color are the most pheromonic entity on this planet is a woman of color. Why? It's because she has coils, and she is the mother of civilization, meaning that all that came after her are grafted from her, meaning that she's the original. She's an heirloom seed. Many of you garden know what I mean. Heirloom seed. She's the heirloom seed, meaning that she holds the highest amount of pheromones of everyone, and she is the one that is told numerous times to straighten her hair, to shave her hair, to shave her underarms. That she is told that she is imperfect based on the fact that she is heightened in pheromones. If you notice in the 60s, like Foxy Brown, all these very natural looking women of color, and all women, when they have the coil, you know, we have our lunars and our European sets who have the coils in the hair, and when they leave it long and unwashed and just left natural, they too are pheromonic, very highly pheromonic, and they attract their mates. Generally, you will see that amongst the lunars, my lunars, or my European sect family, so sea stars, they have a easier time attracting males based on the fact that um, they are not changing and altering and masking their pheromones as much as the sea stars that are of color, because they're living in a world that has, made them feel more comfortable in who they are naturally. So women who are, melanin recessive, or my lunars or European sect, they're allowed it to be more natural. But when they are unnatural and they're dyeing their hair and they're putting on a lot of perfumes and so on, they too lose and mask their pheromonic qualities as well. So I'm here to say, I'm trying to be not as salacious as possible, because I'm highly pheromonic out in the nature, and you can tell when you are, because pheromones isn't just play in how things receive you as far as males are concerned, but it's also how people in general will receive you. Meaning that when you're allowed to be as pheromonically harmonic as possible, it is not just a scent that keeps things a good homeostasis outside of your field, outside. Meaning that how any entity interacts with you, if you are very in sync with your nature, everything outside of you will resonate with you. Meaning that as healthy and natural as you are, things, people, places, animals, insects, they will engage with you in a healthier way, because they understand who and what you are, even if you don't know who and what you are. So all this to say, I'm telling our sea stars, be mindful of your pheromones, protect them, start to engage in the world with an understanding and overstanding that you are also a part of nature, as you are, and nature makes no mistakes. You are born exactly how you were to be, with all that's necessity for you to survive and to prevail in nature. And with that being said, if you're having issues with your male counterparts, usually it could be, remember, we're coming out of a field of the parasitic, vampiric, stoic male paradigm. That's gone. The new era of wonderful feminine consciousness, which is going to go into unity consciousness, which is a beautiful divine male and feminine energies coming together and uniting. So it's all relative. But in order to attract, because a lot of sea stars are unaware of their divinity and their power and what they have access to, just with their nature themselves, I would say be mindful to keep your hair more natural, eat natural foods, meaning that anything from the vine, anything that is unchanged, unaltered, when you eat that, it allows for your pheromonic harmonics to be in total balance with nature and with others. Okay? And also start to engage with your body in the same way. Remember, your skin is the largest organ on your body. We have organs inside of our body, but our skin is the largest organ. Anything you put on top of it will be absorbed inside of it, and it will change your chemical composition. That being said, putting things on you that are foreign, that have a lot of chemical combinations, especially of foreign chemicals and very toxic carcinogens that are put in a lot of cosmetics. When you do that, you are altering your general chemistry, your chemical composition. You are changing it. And as I told you before, the cosmetic field and the perfume industry has made it a big money-making scheme to make sure that they sell perfumes that have other entities, pheromones in them, so that you, ladies and gentlemen, will be comfortable mating with beings and species and other other races. We engage with, and when I say races, I'm not talking about races of different complexions. I'm talking about different race of beings that you would be normally, you would be naturally repelled by. You become more acclimated to their sense based on the fact that you are pheromonically changing and altering your field with these different foreign chemicals that you're putting, calling perfumes and cosmetics, as far as lotions and what have you, that have scents on it that you don't know where they actually come from. and they're utilizing pheromones from other things, and they utilize pheromones from bugs and animals as well, just to let you know. And same with gentlemen, with colognes and so on. For our sea stars, start to unmask your pheromones with a healthy hygiene. I want to say there's a difference between being pheromonically harmonic and being unhygienically sound. Okay, there's a difference. You know, when you're pheromone harmonic, when you're in a pheromone harmonic stage, you smell illuminating in your natural being. I've talked to you before about when I'm in mating season, how there are certain males that it has nothing to do with anything other than their scent, their chemistry. And when they tell you if you have chemistry with someone, that's what they're talking about. Pheromonically harmonic with another being. But I've met males who I can just walk by and their scent, their little scent, which goes into their vibration and their frequency, it matches, it should all be balanced in that way, is so illuminating that it makes me do a double take. And it actually makes me available to allow and more receptive to engaging with this being who I'm pheromonically harmonic with. So I tell the sea stars, start paying attention to your sense. Stop masking your sense and start engaging with people with an understanding that there is a basic natural chemistry between beings of same species. And when we are not aware of that, we tend to get involved with beings that we would normally never be harmonic with, whether it be spiritually, frequency-wise, chemistry-wise, based on the fact that we're getting with people that are masking their natural pheromonic harmonics with other beings. And it makes us susceptible to being infiltrated based on that. So anyway, I want to talk basically about pheromones. I'm going to go inside. It's about that time. I've been outdoors all day. I'm sorry. I'm used to being in Florida, and clothing is more, we wear less clothing in Florida, but here in New York I have to be appropriate. Appropriate. Just, I don't want to offend anyone. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please be aware of your pheromones and know that there are species here that are highly pheromonic. And that is why you get the Kim Kardashians, you get the Amber Roses, who I denote them as being Insectilian hybrid queens, who are heightened in pheromones. They're another species. This is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's true. It is what I know to be. And because of that, they visually, actually, the more higher in pheromones that a being has, the more attractive they'll look to you. It doesn't mean that they're attractive. The pheromones does change your perspective and perception of beings also. That's what I'm saying for our sea stars. Start paying attention to your pheromones, because it does change how other beings see you and how attractive you appear to be based on your pheromones. But other species like Amber Roses and Kim Kardashians, and there's a host of others that I don't have to call out, these are highly heightened pheromonic other species of Insectilian queens, and they appear visually because they bypass your cerebral cortex. They kind of finesse your perception, and because they're heightened in pheromones, so it's a chemical reaction that changes your field. They look and appear beautiful and sexy, and so it's a heightened sexuality that they kind of display. So anyway, so all this to say, guard your pheromones. Sea stars, start to pay attention to that. Wear things on your body that are in sync with your chemistry, and especially for those women of color. Be mindful that your melanin also has its own chemical composition that can be easily altered when putting other chemical or other pheromones of other type of females of different races. So because of that, I say start to utilize things that would have been, if you're going to put oils on, don't be OD with them, because you don't want to mask your pheromones either. Putting too much oil or grease or lotions on, though it may seem illuminating, you don't have to do that if you're drinking a lot of water and you're out in the sunshine and nature. You naturally glisten. You don't need to put that much moisture. And lotions and oils do mask your pheromonic harmonics. So just know that if you're eating well, natural from the vine, more so raw vegetables and things like that, you will be more harmonic pheromonically and more attractive to those outside based on you you know, you being healthy in that way. So do those things without masking, and also shaving your hair and whatnot. Be natural. Be, you know, Pheromone. My hair, you know, my hair has changed over the years, but my hair is natural. It is what it is. You know, at this point, I don't really mess with it. I mess with it on the thing because it's always on my back. That's why I always play with it, and I get a little. I have a nervous tick in front of the camera, which you've known for years. So if you don't know, I flip my hair because I have like this nervous kind of tick that I do on camera. I don't do it in person. So it's a weird kind of, I don't know, like a Tourette, like a hair Tourette kind of thing. So I apologize. That it may look vain. It really isn't that serious. I just don't like it on the back of my neck. So I do that a lot, and I'm, you know, it's a little weird. Yeah, I told you I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. You know, I may not look like one, which you consider to be, but I am very much a nerd, and I'm okay with it. That's me being okay, but, you know, leave your hair natural. Stop putting so much chemical or lotions or oils on you. Start getting some sunshine, drinking things that are, you know, highly alkaline, not to a heightened degree, but to a very, you know, balanced degree. Also eating a lot of fruits and things in your natural environment. Don't try not to outsource and buy fruits and vegetables from other areas, other regions, because that does mess with your pheromones as well. If you eat from the trees, like these, if you eat from the trees and vines from where you're located, you will get all the wonderful antibodies and the protection, especially sunscreen, from your environmental fruits and vegetables from your local area. That also helps with your pheromones. Stop shaving. And also, when men engage with you sexually, when you're heightened in pheromones and you have healthy pheromones, he can smell only you all day, every day, and he will want to perpetuate it. He will want to be around you more often when he's utilized, because every pheromonic harmonic is very individually based. And when there's a lot of chemistry between the two of you, you would be the only female he wants to be around to the heightened degree. So that will help you in your, you know, in your mating process. If you want to allure males of your same frequency, of your same vibration, then start to keep your same natural pheromonic harmonics in check, in balance, and you will see how that works out. So I know I have a key. I leave my keys in my bra. I'm sorry. So New York of me. Anyway. So peace, family. I'm gonna go. I just thought I'd make a quick video on pheromone harmonics, how important it is, how our sea stars need to be more mindful of how they are, you know, if they are washing off their pheromones, you know, showering too much too, that's a problem. If you're healthy, you won't smell. This is what I'm saying. If you are healthy, you don't have to take showers perpetually, daily, 2 and 3 times a day, because you're drinking a lot of water, you don't have a lot of bacteria on you, funguses, you're healthy. So just stay pheromonically harmonic, and tell me, sea stars, how that works out. And gentlemen, tell me how you like it. All right, peace. Bye-bye.